Good day and welcome to our class. Today we shall discuss Lorentz series. Just like we have Taylor series, Maclaurin series in theory of real variable. In theory of complex variable, we have Lorentz series. In Taylor series, the function must be analytic, but in Lorentz series, the function need not to be analytic. Then we use Lorentz series. So the theorem, let C1 and C2 be two concentric circles. If they say that two concentric circles that carry each other inside like this, just like what we have in this place, this is one circle, this is another one. These are the two concentric circles of radii R1 and R2 of this radius and this radius. That is, R1 is the radius of this, R2 is the radius of this, and both of them centered at Z0. Suppose that f of z is single valued and analytic on that C1 and C2 in the annular region. This is the annular region. If they say that annular region in a real sense, when we have this concentric circle, a ring shape, when we have a ring shape, the region in between this place is the annular region. So this is the annular region. Now, this is the annular. If it is single valued and analytic inside this annular region, then f of z is given as this. This is Lorentz series, which can be written in two forms like this. N runs from 0 to infinity and this, and can be expanded in this form. So this is called Lorentz series. This an is given as this. So this is our an. So this first one here, this place, or this one, is called analytical part, while this second one, that is this one to this end, is called principal part. So this is what we are trying to say, and this is the Lorentz series expansion. Now let us prove this theorem. So we want to prove this theorem here. We know normally if you want to find the area of this one, it will be this minus this. That will be the formula. If you want to find the area, it will be the area of this minus area of this. So using Cauchy integral formula, we have this. Remember, in Cauchy integral formula, normally this is what we have. F of z0 is equal to 1 over 2 pi I integral f of z over z minus z0 dz, if you remember. But here now we are turning this z0 to ordinary z, and ordinary z we are turning it to w's. That is why we have this thing here. Now let's keep that. Now we consider this 1 over w minus z. Remember, you can express it as 1 over w minus z0 plus z0 minus z. Minus z0 plus z0 is 0. So what we have left is w minus z. This will give me 1 over w minus z0. I can rewrite it to be z minus z0. When we expand this, this is still what we are going to get. Now, let me bring out w minus z0 this. So if I bring w minus z0 out, what I'm going to have will be 1 over, if you factorize this out, it will be 1 minus z minus z0 over w minus z0. Then we recall. Let's recall that 1 over 1 minus t, that is summation n runs from 0 to infinity t raised to power n. So the same thing is here. This is 1 over 1 minus t. In that case, 1 over this will now be equal to 1 over W minus Z naught. This thing will become n runs from 0 to infinity. This is representing our t. So, and in that case, we are going to have it to be Z minus Z naught over W minus Z naught, all raised to power n. If when we bring this thing, if we bring this one in, this is W minus Z naught, W minus Z naught, we should have it in this format over W minus Z naught raised to power n plus 1. So we have now shown that 1 over W minus Z is equal to this, where Z naught is an arbitrary point there. Now, because we are dealing with this, f of W over W minus Z naught, so that means we need f of W over W minus Z naught there. We need f of W on top. So as we are putting it there, we have to put it here too. And that will become summation n runs from 0 to infinity. This is Z minus Z naught raised to power n. It will be f of W over W minus Z naught raised to power n plus 1. We are integrating on C1 first. So from that place, if I integrate, because what is here is 1 over 2 pi I. If I integrate both sides along C1 with respect to W, because it is the W that is here, the W, this will be equal to summation n runs from 0 to infinity. This will be 1 over 2 pi I integral C to be C1 Z minus Z naught f of W dW over W minus Z naught raised to power n plus 1. But because this is Z minus Z naught, it is independent of W, so we can bring it out of this integral. Okay, sorry, there's n here. You can bring it out of this integral so that we have 1 over 2 pi I summation n runs from 0 to infinity Z minus Z naught raised to power n. In fact, let me bring it in 2 pi I. What we are going to have left is this f of W dW over W minus Z naught raised to power n plus 1. So in this case, we can express the whole of this by n. That is this one, the whole of this, we represent it by an. With this pi, 1 over 2 pi I, so that it agrees with what we have here. You know, our an is this. So we represent the whole of this by our an. So that at the end of the day, we should have integral C1 f of W over Z minus Z over W minus Z dW is 1 over 2 pi I. This will be equal to, the whole of this will be our an together with this 1 over 2 pi I. So this will give me n runs from 0 to infinity an Z minus Z naught raised to power n. Let's call this equation 1. So we have been able to prove the analytical part. So it remains this. Now for the second one, if you look at this part, this second part here, where is it? This second part in this place, on C2, we have minus 1 over W minus. That is what we have. Unlike this one, that is, we only have 1 over W minus Z. So we can similarly go the same way. So let me say on C2, on C2. So we consider 1 over the, we have minus there, minus 1 over W minus Z. This will be the same thing as Z minus W. But we do the same thing by introducing Z0, just like what we did the other time, minus W again. And this will be equal to 1 over Z minus Z0 minus, this will be W minus Z0. From this place, if you remember, we factorize this out. The first one, that is 1 over Z minus Z0. And when we factorize it, we are going to have 1 over 1 minus this over this, W minus Z0 over Z minus Z0. So you observe that if you multiply this, you still get what is here. So this is also in form of 1 over 1 minus t. And what we are going to have there is summation n runs from 0 to infinity 1 over Z minus Z0 times this one, W minus Z0 over Z minus Z0, all raised to power n. Now, Z minus Z0 is included now, so we can continue by writing it as, okay, this is what we are having now. It will now be equal to W minus Z0 raised to power n over Z minus Z0. This will now be raised to power n plus 1. Now, let's do this. C2 f of W over this, the W, there's minus here. This will be equal to, in fact, let me put 1 over 2 pi I. There's minus there. Because of this part, 1 over 2 pi I is there. So whatever I put here, I have to put it here too. So this is n runs from 0 to infinity. There's I've put 1 over 2 pi I. C2, I have put f of W over, okay, times all this, W minus Z0 over Z minus Z0. This one is raised to power n plus 1. The top one is raised to power n, the W. Once again, what we have done is that we have multiplied both sides by this integration. And 1 over 2 pi I is on both sides. Also, we have multiplied both sides by f of W, both sides of this by f of W. But this Z minus W is independent of this one. So in that case, I can bring it out. So if I bring it out, I'm going to have this n runs from 0 to infinity 1 over Z minus Z0 raised to power n plus 1. This 1 over 2 pi I C2 f of W minus Z0 raised to power n, the W. Now, on this note, we cannot apply Cauchy integral formula here. For you to apply Cauchy integral formula, this has to come down. So the best thing now is that we need to replace n by n minus 1 here. So that is, replace n by n minus 1. That is, anywhere you see n, write it as n minus 1. So there's n here. This will be n minus 1 is equal to 0. It will affect this. This will be n minus 1 plus 1 Anywhere we see n, we have written it as n minus 1 times 1 over 2 pi I C2 f of w. This one becomes w minus z naught. This one will be n minus 1 dw. So this will now be equal to n minus 1 is equal to 0. Making n inside the formula, we have n is equal to 1 to infinity. This one will give me 1 over z minus z naught raised to power n. This is 1 over 2 pi I integral C2 f of w. We can bring this one down. When we bring it down and apply indices, this will be minus n plus 1 dw. You will now see that it's just the same thing as if you compare it. The one we put as an here, they look alike. The only difference is that this one has minus. So in that case, we are going to turn this one to instead of an now it will be a minus n, because ordinary n is an. This one will be a minus n. So in that case, this will be equal to, let me bring it back. This will be equal to summation n runs from 1 to infinity. The whole of this will become a minus n over z minus z naught raised to power n. So we have shown the second part. So finally, our f of z will now be equal to addition of the two parts. This is equation 2. This is equation 1 here. So that is summation n runs from 0 to infinity an z minus this plus summation n runs from 1 to infinity a minus n z minus z naught raised to power n. So that proves the Lorentz series expansion. So from this, we can now take example. Now, before we take an example, let's consider classification of singularities. The first one is a pole. Oh, if we consider the Lorentz series, classification of singularities as related to this Lorentz series, we know that it has this principal part, the analytical part. You can see plus infinity. This is the principal part to infinity. If this f of z has a finite principal part, then f of z is said to have a pole of order n. That is, if there's no infinity there, let's say it stop at this second one, or it's even stop at this first one, they will say that it has a pole of order n. But let's say assume that it continues to the end, it has no end, then we say that it's an essential singularity. That is, if it has infinite terms on the principal part. So that z naught is an essential singularity. Another important type of singularity is removable singularity, which we have done before. So let's take note of that. Let's take example. We have example 1 here. Find the Lorentz series expansion of this f of z about z naught, about z is equal to 0, and name the type of singularity. The knowledge of Taylor series and Maclaurin series will be very important here, which you have to go and take note. Now, let's expand it like this. This is 1 over z, 1 minus cos z. If you recall, cos z from Maclaurin series is the same thing as 1 minus z squared over 2 factorial plus z4 over 4. You need to go and learn this. You need to go and memorize it. It's very important as a mathematician. Now, if you expand, this will leave. What we are going to have left is z squared over 2 factorial plus z raised to power 4 over 4 factorial. This is minus plus infinity. Now, z can cancel. what we are going to have left is z over 2 factorial minus z cube over 3 factorial plus infinity. So this is the Lorentz series expansion. Now, since this Lorentz series has no principal part, it has only analytical part. If they say that principal part, when this z is under, that is when we say that it has a principal part. When the z is under, we say that it has a principal part, but it has only analytical part. So since it has no singular principal part, we can now say that therefore z is equal to 0. This we can say that it's a removable singularity. That is example 1. Example 2. Example 2. Find the Lorentz series expansion of this f of z about z is equal to minus 3 and name the singularity. Now, solution. So z is equal to minus 3. If you bring it here, this is what you are going to have. For better work here, and for easier and better work, you say let u be z plus 3. In fact, we have z plus 3 here. Making z the same formula, z will be equal to u minus 3. Therefore, our f of z will now be equal to, instead of z minus 2, our z is u minus 3. Then there's minus 2 here, cos 1 over u, which can become u minus 5 cos 1 over u. Now, we have u minus 5 cos 1 over u. Look at cos z there. Cos 1 over u will now become 1 minus, you can see z squared over 2 factorial. This is representing our z. 1 over u squared over 2 factorial plus 1 over u raised to power 4 over 4 factorial minus infinity. Now, let's expand this. If you expand it, u times 1, u minus, if you expand this one, we have, this will now be 1 over 2 factorial u squared. So if you expand it, it will have been 1 over 2 factorial u, because this u will cancel it. This will be plus 1 over 4 factorial. Instead of u raised to power 4, it will be u raised to power 3 minus infinity. Now let's use this minus 5 to expand it. This is minus 5. Minus 5 times 1. This is plus 5 over 2 factorial u squared minus 5 over 4 factorial u raised to power 4 plus infinity. So this is what we are going to have. Now let us now simplify further. So in this case, the only analytical part we have here is ordinary u. The one on top is the analytical part. So let's pick it. Our u is representing z plus 3. Z plus 3. Then minus this one, 1 over 2. 2 factorial is 2. U is z plus 3. I will take this one again. Plus 5 over 2 factorial u, that is this squared. There's 1 here. Plus 1 over 4 factorial u cube, that is z plus 3 all cube minus infinity. There's this one, but I don't want to include it. Let's say minus infinity. But there is minus 5 here. If you add it to this one, minus 3 minus 5, that is minus 2. So this is the Lorentz series expansion. You will now see that this analytical part continues to infinity. In that case, we can now say that therefore z is equal to -3 is an essential singularity. It's an essential singularity. So meet me in my next video to continue the examples on Lorentz series expansion. So we are now considering Lorentz series expansion in an annular region. So we are only this one now is just direct. We are considering a case where we'll be having something like this, annular region, something like this. So in our next video we'll consider this.